Since some of you asked to see some more Monster Hunter Now content and there's still a week left for the community day for the other games, I figured why not? I basically tried to play it today during the rain as well as there was an event, so this is done on a whim. So in the game there's this thing here called the Qualily Special Quests, and if you complete it you get a lot of things like zennies and all that, which is the currency in this game, kind of like in Pokemon Go you have things like Stardust to upgrade your equipment. So I first started by trying to find the enemies, and there was this Jagras here. I wasn't really sure if people needed some advice on the game or if you just wanted to see how a person like myself plays it, but here I'm using the hammer, specifically the paralysis one. Now why I'm using that is I just figured the way I'm playing this game is when it comes to weapons I'm trying to diversify, where each element I try to have a different weapon depending on the enemy, so I have variety. Like these guys, for example, these great Jagras, they're huge and they're really slow, so I figured a hammer weapon would be great in terms of just bashing it, as you can see. As well, as you can see, it gets paralyzed at times, which makes it a lot easier when you're walking. And I find that's something you have to decide in this game too. Do you want a weapon where you're sitting down, for example, and playing the game versus actually going outside and walk? Because that could make a big difference. Like here, when I'm fighting this guy here and I'm walking, sometimes I get overzealous and I get hit there, as you can see. But because the weapon is really strong, I can often whack it really hard like this, and it makes it really easy to charge up and then take it out. So it really depends on your playstyle in my opinion, but I have a lot of fun with the hammer many times. And you can see again, as I see these enemies, they're really slow. You could probably use something, for example, like the sword and shield as well. Again, I just find it's a lot easier for me to take out these enemies with something hard hitting like this. This is usually how I play the game too. Doesn't matter if the weather, rain or shine, you'll see me walking all the time like I do with things like Pikmin Bloom as well. I was thinking as I was playing this whether or not I could give you an example of using two completely different weapons on the exact same enemy, and actually a situation did come up, so that was kind of great where I could show you. In this specific case, it was either using the bow or you can use the hammer, as you can see here. Here will be an example, I guess, of using two different types of weapons. I know the arrow is usually really strong, but I find it difficult to use when you're actually walking, so here would be an example. So for the arrows, I chose the fire element just because I had already had, for example, water for one, and I had paralysis, and you can see with this you have to hold on the screen and then let go to fire. So you can imagine playing with one hand, for example, trying to dodge and fire and so forth, so it requires a little bit more precise attention and reaction. I can see if you're at home, for example, it'd probably be an awesome safe choice, but when you're like me, you're on the go, you usually prefer something where you don't have to, I guess, pay as much attention, but it's decent, I guess. It has a lot of power. I don't know, it's just, again, when you're walking, you have to go, you don't want to be staring at the screen, but it does the job, as you can see. And as a comparison here, I brought the hammer out. The playstyle is a lot different. You can see here, one big hit, move, charge up, this is what you can do, hit it, basically run away again, roll away, charge up again, hit it. So it's a lot easier in my opinion if you're always walking a lot, especially here when you charge the really huge attacks. Look how much energy that takes out, and then you can just pretty much bash it or bonk it, whatever you want to say, and there you go, you have it defeated. And that was actually the completion for at least one set of monsters. The hammer wasn't even the right element type too, but you can see it's kind of easier for myself anyways when you're walking around. Now usually when I'm walking too and there's these tougher enemies like this one here, I always debate, do I want to fight it? Because if you mess up and you lose HP, for example, then you'll have to wait it out. But I just decided to fight it anyways. And in this case, this hammer is actually appropriate element wise to actually fight this Diablo, because it's really weak against paralysis. And you can see on the screen how I usually play in terms of the bow. I'm just like going everywhere, so you gotta choose your weapon based on your play style and all that. But the hammer, as you can see here, is great it paralyzes the Diablo, lots of breaks, so it makes it a lot easier in my opinion to play, but because it's so big and clunky, you tend to miss a lot because the reach doesn't reach the enemy when it goes back or you go back for whatever reason, like when you dodge, so that's one drawback. But other than that, look how much power this item has. And even when using this special move, look at this. The last strongest hit completely misses, but I guess that's just one of the trade-off with the bigger weapons. And again, it helps because this weapon, it actually enables you to run forward when you charge it up, and just like that. I find it really fun. I was debating whether or not I wanted to play it. I was like, okay, why not? I find it really fun anyways with these types of weapons. So 2 complete, 1 more to go. For this enemy, I actually upgraded my water sword and shield a lot in the beginning, so I just kind of decided to stick with it. There are other ones, for example, that are stronger and you have to debate in terms of which one to go with. For my own strategy, I stuck with the original one at first, the Jagras water one, and I upgraded a lot of the armor, which gives you elemental boost, so I actually maxed out the water attack to level 5. So in that sense, it's safer to upgrade that way, because in the future, if you want to change to, let's just say, a different water type of weapon, then your armor is actually still valid to give you all that boost. You might have noticed there before the screen flipped. I find that's an issue too when you're playing at times, like you're walking, or when you're swerving the phone around, you accidentally tilt it and then the game adjusts to that position. You're like, oh, I'll go back. So my way to fix it is usually just use a special move in case it messes up, because you're invincible during those times. And here's the final one. And as you level up your weapons, you can see how, I guess, strong it is against these enemies. Just a few taps and that's it. Break. And that was pretty much it. All 3 enemies defeated, and you can basically claim the reward for a lot of the zennies. Again, this is like Stardust for people who play things like Pokemon Go, but I'm having a lot of fun personally playing this game, because usually with other things like Pikmin and Bloom, it's usually in the background as I walk. This one actually gives you, I guess, a little more to do if that's your gameplay style, I suppose. For myself, again, I play them all pretty much, like depending on the situation. If I'm down in this game, then I can just open up something else like send gifts, or I can just use Pikmin. And as a little bonus, since you didn't see the other weapon, this one here is the bow gun, and I chose this one to be lightning specifically because, for one, I didn't have a specific lightning element weapon, and as well, I found a lot of the enemies that are weak to lightning are flying ones like these, and these guys are annoying with things like hammers and all that because they keep moving. And so with this, you can just keep blasting from a distance, so you can kind of plan it out depending on what your gameplay style is. It makes it really easy in my opinion with this choice. So for me currently, sword and shield, I have water. For the hammer, I have paralysis. For the bow, I'm using fire, and the bow gun, I'm using lightning. Other than that, I hope you enjoy it. Let me know if there's something you want to see. It might be something, I guess, extra to do while you're waiting for other things like the community day and all that. Other than that, I gotta wrap it up.